saying that they weren't given adequate time to prepare for water restrictions set to begin tonight. The city, alongside the Water and Sanitation Department, announced the implementation of water throttling, which will see the reduction of water pressure to ease the strain on the city's reservoirs. Mongezi Koko has more.
Car wash businesses, hair salons and restaurants are among the establishments describing this water-saving measure as an attack on small business.
Water in the tanks, but if it's busy, then the water tends to run out and it becomes a problem because customers don't like being turned back.
Look, man, my car wash is probably going to tank. I'm going to have to fire my employees and my family is going to starve.
Owners say the one-week notice of water throttling reinforces their frustration. Key facilities like hospitals, clinics and schools are also affected. However, departments responsible for these facilities have assured that services won't be disrupted, with contingency plans like water tankers and Jojo tanks in place. Mongezi Koko, Eyewitness News, Johannesburg.
On the weather front, a partly cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng tomorrow with evening showers and thunder showers. Joburg dropping to an overnight low of 13 degrees, peaking at 24. Tshwane 15 and 26, Vereeniging 15 and 25. Lerato Hufela, Eyewitness News.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
#MSW. You may begin to feel anxious or excited.
Honest, deliberate, engaging, uncensored.
High dosage administration can cause adverse reactions.
And most importantly, independent in mind and execution.
This is a normal response. Are you ready?
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Yesterday, Jordaan and Xolile filed an urgent interdict at the Johannesburg High Court to stop the arrests. However, that proved to be moot as the Hawks nabbed them from their homes earlier this morning. In Jordaan's affidavit, which was read into court's record by his lawyer, Victor Nkwashu, he says he intends on pleading not guilty.
From the cursory reading of the warrant of arrest, I intend to plead not guilty to all the charges, and I believe that I will be acquitted because the state has no case at all against me. I am of the well-considered view that this arrest is an abuse of the process.
And the court also expressed that especially for Jordaan, who has access to his passport as we speak and not the other two co-accused, he's the president of an association. Bafana Bafana get to play against Uganda on Friday. Does he get to travel?
Yes, for the purposes of him executing his duties as the president of SAFA, his passport he has to retain it.
This has happened before the election in 2017, where the president of SAFA was charged for allegedly having raped one Geneva, and 2 years later the matter was dropped. It was a clear ploy to charge the president in order to try and pressurize him to step aside. The same thing is happening here. We have been part of a smear campaign trying to change the current leadership of SAFA for years now, and they haven't succeeded, and they won't succeed this time around. Thank you.
I always maintain there's no smoke without fire. They all denied Robert when they were probed. But at the end of the day, when justice starts to prevail, that's when the truth comes out.
Good evening, Rob, and good evening, Coach Ribeiro. You set a great standard, and the rest must follow. Once, always, up the backs, happy people. Ribeiro!
Rivero. What goes through your mind? Sometimes you seem to be clapping your hands emotionally.
Yeah, it's something special. Honestly, it's something that is happening for the first time in my life. It's a new space for me.
Robert Marawa, live on 947. Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live. #MSW.
It's a mixed bag of a show that we have lined up for you tonight. Jomo Biela is already on the line. We're going to be chatting all things to do with Motorsport, guys. Hey, 9 hours of Kyalami, are you ready? Plus, breaking news coming through from Bafana Bafana.
From the pitch to the podium,
Your all-access pass to the world of sport
is right here. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947.
Vuma FM
and Rise FM.
Powered by Hollywood Bets.
All right, before we chat to Jomo Biela, let me just quickly update you, though, that the tight head prop Volkolo is going to be playing his first test since 2021 in a Springboks starting 15, which shows 12 changes against England at Twickenham on Saturday. Only lock Ibn Etzebeth, Lucid Prop Oxenche, as well as hooker Bongim Bonambi will retain their starting berths, though, from last week's victory over Scotland in Edinburgh. Here's coach Rassie Rasmus.
That thinking was done 3 weeks ago, prior to us getting onto the plane, even when we were in Jersey. And it's purely, we've been rotating the whole year. We're trying to, first of all, create depth, but quality and depth, and also caps experience, that if we get 2 or 3 injuries, all of a sudden that the third guy is not totally new to the system and knows our system. We're also trying to get versatile players who can cover more than one position. And then obviously, I think that I'm talking under correction here, but I think out of all the teams, England is the only team that does not have a 6-day turnaround. And our 6-day turnaround is in the England week. So for us to make sure we can handle their kicking game, which seems to be something that they really fall back on, and their rush defence, that will certainly have a heavy toll on our backs. That's where we went with a 5-3 split. And then hopefully our forwards are fresh from not playing all of them 80 minutes except Ibn Etzebeth. So that was the thinking.
Right, the newly elected PSL Exco member Tim Sugazi says that failure to take South African football to greater heights is not an option. Sugazi is amongst the 3 new faces that have been elected during the PSL quadrennial general meeting held at the Sandton Convention Centre in Sandton yesterday.
The membership has given confidence in you. All I've done as a person, I'm taking all that with utmost humility, like I've indicated. But I know as much that I've got my job cut out. And you'll be pleased to know that I'm up for it. And failure is not an option. The answer is that God's timing is the perfect time. God has the perfect timing. It's not for me. Could not have happened. Easily could have happened maybe 10 years or not at all. So I wouldn't see myself any different or, coming at any special time or whatever the case may be. All that's important is for one to realize the amount of work that is there and absolute to serve, as I've declared. We have to serve and take the responsibility, as I've said, with utmost humility. That's the main focus. As to what needs to be done when and how, today now, 40 minutes after the results have been declared, it will be very irresponsible and prematurely. It's a mammoth task, this, of course. And I've got our legendary chairman in the plural. That is Dr. Koza and Dr. Mutau, and the privilege of having the opportunity to serve under them, learn from them, work with them, be led and be guided by them. Given what they have achieved for the game for so many years, where they took it from beneath, not from level ground, but from ground -3, -7. Look, it is the greatest honor. And I'm here to be led, and I'm here to harness the amount of good work that they've been doing, that they've done for a number of years. It's not only them, obviously, the entire executive and my predecessors, as I've said.
All right, as we chat to another Exco member, let me just tell you that breaking news story happening just as we got on air. I can safely tell you, though, that Bafana Bafana have qualified for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations finals without kicking a ball in the last 2 rounds of matches. That was simply because South Sudan, they pulled off a shock 3-2 victory at home against Congo this afternoon. Now, this makes coach Hugo Broos the first Bafana Bafana coach to reach a Nations Cup finals back-to-back. It is the second time that Bafana Bafana have back-to-back appearances at the Africa Cup of Nations after they last did that, if you go back to the year 2013 as well as 2015. So, salute Bafana Bafana. Who knows, we might just play them a little song to pep them up later on. But hey, Chairman Ivan Khoza, he's been re-elected the chairman of the Premier Soccer League now for a 6th term. The new executive committee now welcomes 3 dynamic members, Inusfiso Biela from Richards Bay, Johnny Okhaladi from Polokwane City, as well as Tim Sugazi from TS Galaxy. Now, they're going to be bringing fresh perspective, taking over from the likes of John Comitas of Cape Town City, also Rob Bernardi of Stellenbosch, and also David TDL of Black Leopards. Well, I'm excited as well to have a quick and brief conversation with the chairman of Richards Bay. As we said, elected yesterday into the EXCO. He joins us live from KZN. Babiyela, good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening, Madlupu. Good evening to your listeners as well.
Has it sunk in?
Well, yeah, Robert. I think I had enough time to digest it, so I'm fine.
Did you expect it?
Definitely, yes. Why not, Robert? I was expecting it based on the experience I have in terms of football administration. But at the same time, I'm humbled by all those teams or soccer clubs who voted for us yesterday.
Did you do a lot of lobbying? I mean, what does it take? I mean, this is a prestigious thing, and that is why we've got you on the line to congratulate you on such a massive, massive milestone on one of the young guns, in inverted commas, of football administration in the country. Did you have to lobby a bit, or did it just come naturally?
Well, the trick is, Robert, I did not nominate myself, so which also gave me confidence. I was nominated by certain clubs. So if there was any lobbying going on yesterday or day before yesterday, maybe they were in charge of that because they wanted to see their candidates emerging. But I didn't do any lobbying from my side.
You heard the clip that we played from Tim Sugazi. I mean, he's also equally excited. He's talking about having to make some changes, but also tapping into the influence of some of the senior members who've been there, the old guard who've been there. For you, what does this mean, and what do you want to see changing as far as football is concerned?
Well, Robert, maybe firstly for me, from Dati streets of Ngwelezane, a township, I grew up, obviously, like any township boy. My favorite sport was football. So at no stage in life where I thought I'll be in a position to know Ivan Koza. Or Dr. Ivan Koza and Dr. Kezam Taung, much as I grew up supporting Orlando Pirates. But I never thought at some point I'll meet them. Now it's even, I bought a team, then I had the privilege to meet them at the BOG. But I never thought that at some point in life I'll be sitting with them around the table. So that one alone really is an honor for me.
And just that experience alone says what about the potential new guard? Because they've taken the leadership of football at a PSL level to heights where we can watch games almost every other day, where there's a PSL game live on television in full HD, and get the kind of money and sponsorship that the PSL has been able to rope in. I mean, for you personally, that's obviously made a change. You as Richards Bay have gone about a transformation yourselves with a big name sponsor that you got earlier on in the season. What's the way forward? I mean, is football right now in a healthy state for you to take over in the future?
Well, indeed, football is in the healthy state, and the leaders really, the big guns, if we can call them big guns, the people who were there before us, I think they've done a marvelous job to take football to greater heights. So we're not coming in to change things. You see, there's this thing of, why do you have to change things that you don't know? You understand? You can't just change things that you don't even understand clearly. But what is important is there's a clear strategy and tactics and objectives for this league, a clear framework where one has to contribute, so obviously, not outside that framework. So ours is to be innovative, work with experienced leaders, complement them, and try to fast track things which maybe they like us to fast track, at the same time learning from them. So that's what you're coming in to do here, not to change things, but to complement and work and learn from the experienced leaders.
Yeah, I certainly wish you everything of the best as far as that journey is concerned. I would be amiss not to take the opportunity as well, Babiela, to maybe quickly talk about your team. You know the great support that it does have and the potential that it does have. You currently sit in 12th position in the Betway Premiership, only 1 goal scored and 5 conceded as well in 7 games that you've played. What's your assessment of the team and also the rumors that the coach might be on the way out?
Robert, let me start by saying we're not happy, obviously, with the state or with the position that we find ourselves in. We believe that we have signed capable players to at least to take us to position 8 or position 10. We're not putting any pressure, obviously, to the technical team or to our players. We're just 2 years old, 2.5-year-old team. But at the same time, we don't want also to be in a position that we find ourselves in last season. But I've been in football for long, Rob, to understand that these are the things that do happen in football. So what is important for now is not to press a panic button, but is to identify areas that we fall short and make it a point that we support our technical team and we work with them. You know, Rob, the problem here is I've learned that it's better to work with someone or with people that you know their strengths and weaknesses. Because moving forward, what is important is for you to improve or to assist them to improve in those weaknesses. Then to bring a person who will also need 3 months to acclimatize. By that time, we'll be sitting at game number 20 and we'll be bound for relegation. So we've learned, we've paid our school fees. So now we know exactly how to approach these things. Yes, football is an emotional game. Sometimes we'll go crazy if we don't get results. But at the same time, we need to control. I mean, intellectual, we must make it a point that emotional intelligence is also, it kicks in here when we do these things, so that we don't take decisions on the basis of frustration, but we take decisions after we have assessed, come to conclusion that this thing cannot work. But for now, there's no need to press panic buttons, even though we're not sitting in a good position.
All right, so what you're saying in summary, and please correct me if I'm wrong, is that the position of the head coach, Brandon Truter, is not under threat right now. You're not firing him anytime soon.
I'm not firing any coach, but I'm willing to assist my coaches to use this FIFA break to improve on areas that we feel we are falling short, even if it means that beefing up in some positions that we feel we're running short of quality in those positions. We're more than willing to do that. But what we cannot do is to chop and change when we know that there are also positives in terms of what you. To be honest, Rob, we are falling short in terms of attacking. Defensively, I think we are sound. Even our last 2 games, we lost those games due to our mistakes. Obviously, they do happen in the game. So let's see how we improve. Let's see how we improve our attacking pattern, Rob, and not concentrate only on defense. I think we can turn the corner if we work together because we have identified the problem. So let's work on improving in that particular area where we think we've got a problem.
I appreciate your honesty, Babu Chomobiela, and once again, congratulations on the appointment.
Thank you very much, Rob.
I appreciate it. The newly elected EXCO member there of the Premier Soccer League, Ubaba Ujomo Biela. Maybe he has a question, though, coming through from one of the listeners.
Rob and Mr. Biela, Chairman, I just want to congratulate you on your appointment. I think your experience from Tanarwal Zulu and your era now at Richards Bay is going to elevate our football administration to the next level. But I just want to find out from you, does PSL have a gift policy, and what is the limit? And I'm asking regarding the 2 million that was given to Dr. Kaiser Motaung in an era where clubs are struggling to pay salaries. What message is that sending to the general public and clubs that are struggling in the league? Thank you so much. Wishing you all the best.
Great question. I think one of these days we're going to try and tackle that. We saw it, 2 million rand going to Dr. Kaiser Motaung from that particular meeting. Whether there is a policy or not, we would have to dig deep, hey?
#MSW. Live
now
on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live. At the same time.
MSW.
Did you know that Lotto Star gives you real money back doing what you enjoy the most? You heard right. We're the only online betting company that rewards you with real ka-ching for simply placing bets on your favorite games. To date, we've paid out over 200 million rand in star rewards. Visit lottostar.co.za, your world of live games. Lotto Star is licensed by the Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. No under 18. NRGP 0800 006 008. T's and C's apply. All games are fixed odds betting events.
Are you looking for the best spectacle and sunglass deal? With Specsavers buy one get one offer, you get great value for money. You know you can trust us with over 350 stores nationwide. Get a free pair of branded prescription sunglasses up to 3,200 Rand when you purchase a comprehensive eye test and spectacle frame with lenses on your first pair. Choose from top brands like Police, Hugo, Tommy Hilfiger, Carolina Herrera, and more. There really is no reason to go anywhere else. Affordable eye care, Specsavers. T's and C's apply.
All packed and ready for the holiday, hubby. Nothing could go off track.
A lot could go off track, and quickly too, wifey.
Well, we have a few wise tips from iWise, like checking our tires, driving within the speed limit, and keeping our emergency roadside assistance details at hand.
What about a wise tip for when our car's parked at the airport?
We'll park in a well-lit area and keep our valuables hidden.
Call 0860 110858 for a quote from iWise, the wise insurance choice. iWise is underwritten by Old Mutual Insure Limited, a licensed FSP and non-life insurer. T's and C's apply.
At Chamberlain's, there's something for everyone. From building supplies for the home renovators to garden essentials for the homemakers. From power tools for the DIY doers to painting supplies for the patio Picassos. We even have coffee for the slightly sleepy and snacks for the young ones. And for the ones who can never quite find what they're looking for, we have you covered too. With our promise to find and source whatever you need. Chamberlain's, famous for hardware since 1903.
At Pick n Pay supermarkets, get early Black Friday deals. Like bulk lean beef mince for only 79.99 Rand per kilogram. Smart shoppers get assorted 2-litre Sparletta or Twist soft drinks, any 4 for only 52 Rand. And assorted Huggies Dry Comfort Nappies value packs for only 129 Rand per pack. Only at Pick n Pay supermarkets. Valid 15 to 17 November while stocks last. T's and C's apply.
With something for everyone, Sandton City is the ultimate gifting destination this festive season. There's no need to rush. Shop iconic gifting and enjoy extended trading hours from 13 to 23 December from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. With more time to find the perfect gift from over 300 iconic brands. Shop for loved ones or spoil yourself over the holidays. Sandton City is the city of icons.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jose Riviero, the head coach of Orlando Pirates.
I have a question for you, coach, and it's based on Upito Masongai. How did you try and get the boys' head in the right place after bringing in the spotlight? Jomoson is one of the legends of Orlando Pirates.
There was also a question about Tito.
Tito loves to play football. He's a different animal when he's on the field, and he feels the support already without even talking about it.
If the number 10 jersey was available, it wasn't retired at Orlando Pirates, who would you assign it to?
I will leave that answer for the fans maybe, and they know much more than me about South African football and who deserves or who is not.
#MSW.
#MSW. Greetings, bro Rob, Gary from Aldos. Hey man, yeah man, excited and happy for the latest news coming out of the AFCON qualifiers. By way of Sudan beating Congo Republic. That's great drop, great for us, great for Bafana Bafana, you know what I mean? And but yeah, I just have one question to Coach Hugo Bruce, man, Robert, perhaps you can pass it on. For you, he said that he's going to leave if we lose our next game. So I just wanted to establish whether he's going to hit us with a Celine Dion and be on the next plane out. If we still lose our next game, you know what I mean? After having qualified via set eventuality. Thanks, Robert. Great show as always, my brother. Cheers.
Bafana Bafana qhubekani nomsebenzi wenu niye phambili siyazi.
Yeah, that's all we can say is that go ahead with the job. A very naughty question that, remember what Hugo Bros had said, guys? He said if it does lose, you can count him out. But I think the whole aim was that if we get some qualification, but that's a good question. That is a good question. But I doubt you'd want to lose it regardless of the fact that now they have qualified without kicking a ball. Imagine that psychologically for them. Hey, mkhulu umsebenzi. So Cape Town, it's over to you. We're just transferring you. We're giving you an idea of the kind of song that you need to play when Bafana Bafana ascends there. Don't disappoint us. Right now, I want to get onto a racetrack, guys. You can catch this live on the YouTube channel and also on the various social media platforms. Also live on Vuma FM, Rise FM, Sowetan Live. I'm pretty excited, though. I'm excited to introduce my next guest, a passionate advocate for motorsport here in South Africa. I think when you go back to 2020, he made history as the first person of color to win a round in the endurance series. And at that stage, he was partnering with Xolile. And since that achievement, he's dedicated himself now to expanding the motorsport audience, recognizing its potential for growth as well as development. Now, with South Africa gearing up for the highly anticipated, I know you and everybody else, you've been waiting for this, the 9 Hours of Kyalami that's going to be happening later on this month. Excitement is at an all-time high. Now, this event, it promises a thrilling weekend packed with high-speed, adrenaline, and also just family-friendly entertainment. Now, joining us in studio is the chairman of SAYS, a seasoned racer himself, a top businessman, and also a founder of the Into Africa Racing. He's going to be shedding a couple of things here. A bit of light on the remarkable growth that has happened of endurance racing in our country and why it matters, though, for the future of motorsport in South Africa. The chairman of the Southern Africa Endurance Series, we've got Xolile Letlaka in studio. Baba, good evening. Welcome to the show.
Hey, evening to you, Rob, and evening to the listeners. Thank you for having us.
Excited to see you. Buzzing.
I'm excited to be on this show, one of the biggest shows. Thanks to you guys for having us today.
I mean, what a privilege. And it's been a busy period for you because everybody looks forward to this 9 Hours of Kyalami. So to a total stranger who doesn't know what this is all about, how do you summarize it?
Okay, let me take this opportunity and give you a little bit of background about SA Endurance and the endurance series that we run. This series started way back in 1958. It staged its first race in 1961. It was called the Springboks series then. What used to happen those days, because of the climate in Europe, international racers would then come to our shores, race their endurance cars here. They would even go to Mozambique, it was Rhodesia those days, go to Zimbabwe, and would race in Cape Town, in Kyalami. And the final round would then happen in Kyalami, which would be the pinnacle round, and it would be called the 9 Hours of Kyalami. This is now the history and heritage of the series. In the mid to late, probably 70s, it died down, and in the 80s, it almost closed because of the sanctions and everything else. In the mid to late 90s, Mr. Roger Pierce, who was a competitor himself, when the series started, rekindled this and started the series, be it slow, and there was really very little support in motorsport, and tried to bring it back to life. And around about 3 years ago, we then bought the series from him, and today we sit here now as the owners of this series with such a huge legacy. So this is the background of the company and the endurance series and why we are passionate about it. Because this is one of the oldest touring series in motorsport. This is our heritage. This is when we talk motorsport in South Africa. you cannot leave out the oldest touring series, which is the South African Endurance Series. We're happy today to have been given this privilege of owning it and running this. And I'm honored to be the chairman and the guy that spearheads this wonderful history that we have in this country.
And you've made history. I mean, I've talked about the history that you've made already. And you just said 3 years ago when you went and bought the rights. So it belongs to you. This becomes now your baby to polish, your baby to grow. I think also your baby to make other people who don't know about it know about it.
Yep.
What is that motivation for you? And I know that you've spoken very openly in the past about the sport being very elitist, the sport not being open as well to kids from maybe from where you were from, Mthatha and other rural areas.
Yeah.
Do you find comfort now to say you made the right decision in terms of doing what you did?
It's a bit of a sweet and a sour taste, right? I had good reason to want to participate and be part of this. That reason was we needed to have a loud enough voices, people of color and especially Africans, in this sport to say, how can we make it better? How can we make it inclusive? How can we transform it? And I thought with a little bit of time and my contribution, I would raise this voice. That's why I am very happy that I am sitting here and I'm talking to you, and I mean in the biggest platform of sport in this country, to say, yes, I am happy to have made that decision. The sour part is that it's taken a long time to have the support necessary to grow the sport to an international level that we ought to be and that we deserve to be as a country. So these efforts of sitting here and talking about this beautiful sport is to try and galvanize enough support and excitement to try and build the sport and make it better.
Because it's not because there's lack of people to be there. It's for many reasons. Now, one of the things that really broke my heart, I don't know if you did an interview, was it last year, this year with City Press? And I literally just took a screenshot of the one part, like I say, that broke my heart because you said, and I quote, I put the money up, I pay Kyalami to race, and that hope that we will get enough people to come buy tickets and come and watch. But every time I've done this, it's become my failure because we don't have the numbers. Those were your words, end quote.
True.
Do they still ring true today?
They still do. Unfortunately, they still do. But guess what, Rob? We're still here. We're still at it. In life, we're driven by hope, right? And if we don't have hope, what is it?
There's hopelessness.
There's hopelessness.
Yeah.
We are still at it because we hope that our cry and our efforts will one day and one day soon pierce through people that want to make this great again, you know? And we are seeing, a bit of support now, thanks to the media, thanks to people like you, thanks to companies, big brands like the ones that power this show, like Hollywood Bets, that forever support sport in this country.
Sure.
And it's people like this that will turn the motorsport industry to be at a level of international standard again. And we thank them with both hands.
Because it's important to start at a certain level because everybody wants the cherry on top. Everybody wants the end product. And the end product will always be the conversation around, hey, when is the country, when is Kyalami going to be hosting the Formula One Grand Prix? Now, it can't always be about that. I mean, the facility's there. It's hosted before. But you've also got other emerging countries on the continent, like Rwanda, who put their name in the hat. And they're going for the hosting.
Yeah.
I mean, I was there a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
And they're serious about this.
Yeah.
In as much as we are serious about hosting Formula One as well.
Yeah.
So then I'm struggling to really fathom in my mind that How then do you struggle to bring these bums on seats at Kyalami in something this exciting?
Okay, you've posed two questions to me. I look at the opportunity of hosting the Formula One race here in isolation. Why do I do that? I believe that before we even look at this, we need to be deserving. We need to be an outfit that is appealing enough for the international community to look at us and say, wow, what a market. Because I've always said, motorsport is a platform of a far bigger and greater thing to happen outside motorsport. Those are the opportunities that we must not miss when this does happen, or when Formula One does come to our country. We need to be prepared. We need to be prepared and make sure that these opportunities are enjoyed by all of us, because motorsport is probably 30% on track, and bulk of it is the social lifestyle and the economy that happens outside the race that our people so need. So that is my little view about Formula One. So we are very serious about building motorsport with or without the possibility of Formula One coming here. We need to package it in a form that appeals and that is in an international standard.
I was also just taken aback by the lack of support. When I say lack of support from corporates, lack of support from government. And we've seen in recent time, a big talk about spending and the fact that it will get funding and that it will be expanded as well. Where do you think that fits in terms of government? Like, have you had a conversation with anybody from the Ministry of Sport, for example, to say, hey, guys, look at us. This is a historic race and you're leaving us out?
Yeah. Let's talk about something that you brought up, corporates and their involvement. There are big car manufacturers that are involved in motorsport, Toyota being one of them, doing an amazing job. We've got VW that's carrying the sport. We've seen young talent coming out of VW series and going up to an international racing standard. And we thank those car manufacturers to make sure that we still have a little bit of light going there. But corporate involvement has been not exactly where it's supposed to be. If you remember, Robert, in olden days we had West Bank series, we had Engine participating. We don't have that today. And I try and piece it out and say, why are we lacking this support today? And I draw one conclusion, or maybe two.
Yeah.
One, government at the time was invested in doing this. This was pre-94. They were truly invested in making sport beautiful, especially a sport that really appealed to the white folk. Because motorsport for the longest time has been a white man's sport.
Sure.
Now, these corporates are not there. The second...
Before you go to the second, I know we're going to take a break. I know we talk about corporates. We're going to take a break. We're going to, sell and make moolah this side. But I just want you to think about this as just a follow-up question to what you said, which is very important, is that then post-1994, what then becomes the pull-out strategy to say we are no longer going to be focusing on this? And I say this repeatedly on this show, regardless of whatever sporting code it is, that sport is one way of many ways of poverty alleviation. So if that is what it is, then why aren't we giving it the attention it deserves? Stick around. Xolile Letlaka is my guest.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
Shaba! It's game time with Hollywood Bets. We're giving away 2 million rand in prizes, including a brand new Toyota Quantum and Toyota Fortuner. Bet 10 rand or more on any soccer fixture and you could claim your share. Aziz Shaggy, let's play. T's and C's apply.
Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
Remove stains in 2 minutes. Well, that's a stretch. I mean, 2-minute noodles aren't even cooked in 2 minutes. Let's be real here.
2 minutes is all it takes to get your car covered online with Santam. Anytime, anywhere, at your fingertips. Visit santam.co.za. Santam. This is freedom. Santam is an authorized FSP, a licensed non-life insurer, and controlling company for its group companies.
Imagine driving through untamed wilderness or exploring vibrant city streets filled with culture. Perhaps you prefer relaxing on a sunny beach.
You choose your adventure. The installments are on us. Purchase a Jimny 5-door before 31st of January 2025 and we'll pay your first 3 installments. Visit your nearest Suzuki dealer to book your test drive or go to suzukiauto.co.za. T's and C's apply.
People always say that time is money, but they never tell you how much time equals how much money. Well, at Lula, we'll tell you right now that 24 hours equals up to 5 million rand. Yep, you heard right. At Lula, you can get up to 5 million rand in funding for your business in as little as 24 hours. So if your business needs access to funds, and time is money, don't delay. Visit lula.co.za today and make cash flow.
Join us at Hirsch's from the 1st to the 30th of November as we reveal the biggest Black Friday deals. Huge savings on TVs, appliances and more. Save 7,000 Rand when you buy an LG 75-inch Nano Cell TV for 17,999 or get an LG 65-inch OLED TV for just 36,999. Black Friday deals also available online at Hirsch's.co.za. Stock is limited. T's and C's apply. Hirsch's, we will save you money.
Oh no, my daughter's low again. Fair to. Check out Capitec Connect's new bundles. Proper savings, just in time for festive. Like 1 gig WhatsApp messaging prepaid for 25 Rand. Bay's been dropping gift hints in our chat. Well, shop online and use Capitec Pay to check out with just your phone number. Serious? 100%. And you can tap to pay, send cash and more. All on the Capitec app. Just like that.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jose Riviero, the head coach of Orlando Pirates. And I looked at this earlier today, and it's mind-boggling that only Tony Sanderson was able to achieve what you have, but you in a shorter period of time. Because 1973-74 is a long time, coach. You weren't even born yet.
I was born in 77, so I'm a very optimistic guy, positive. I'm always thinking that we're going to make it. So whichever project I was getting a lot of criticisms in the beginning, even before I came to South Africa. They were critical with the club, with the project, not with myself. People who brought me here, they know what they are doing. The club is in good hands in terms of, you know, the decisions that they are making.
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW.
That's a very important conversation. Be a part of it. It is 011-888-947. That's the number to call directly in studio. Otherwise, do send us a WhatsApp voice note. Any question or comment? Maybe you've also been following this for a number of years, or maybe you're a participant, or maybe just a spectator when it comes to the 9 Hours of Kyalami. That's taking place on the 29th and the 30th. Massive event. The big question is, are you going to be a big part of it? The chairman of the Southern African Endurance Series, Xolile Letlaka, is my guest. He's here in studio and he's being honest, he's being very transparent, he's being straight to the point about the struggles that they've been having. And I know that somewhere along the lines of what you promote, the sport to be about, or maybe even the 9 Hours of Kyalami about, is the event being for everyone, not just motorsport fanatics. It's for everyone because it has everything for everyone. It might sound like a bit of a tongue twister, but what is that all about?
I mean, I mentioned it before the ad break that motorsport is a big social event. That on-track show is probably 30% of the motorsport world. We have so much that's happening off-track. We've got live music, we've got performances, and the reason I really promoted this lifestyle part of motorsport, we need to go fetch an audience in South Africa that predominantly was never catered for. You go to Soweto, Robert, and try and ask how many guys in Soweto have been to Kyalami. I can tell you now, not even 30% of people in Soweto have been to Kyalami. They don't even know where Kyalami is. By the way.
I think they'll respond by direct translation and say, yes, I've been to Kyalami.
Exactly.
My home.
Exactly.
But they don't know the racetrack.
Now, if then this is so, we need to find a way of bringing everyone together. We are a beautiful country of dance and music. We are a country that healed our wounds because of Africans are social beings. We sinobuntu. I then said to the committee, we need to incorporate this aspect of who we are into how we present motorsport. We need to have the same feel as if you're going to a soccer match, a vendor that's selling a manglina if they have to.
Yes.
Because this is who we are. We need to break down the traditional understanding of who has to come to a motorsport gathering.
The exclusivity.
We need to break that. This is for all of us. That's why you see the barrier to entry has been lowered. I mean, we are asking people to bring their cooler boxes, their umbrellas. They must sit there and witness and be part of this show. In this show, there will be cars that are racing. In the show, it's a family day. If we do not do this, we will not bring in value for corporate. Corporate needs volume, right? To justify this, then we need to really bring everyone.
And they need exposure. And do correct me if I'm wrong, but I understand that there will be coverage coming through from SuperSport.
We have been covering all of our races with SuperSport. We have a beautiful partnership with them where the races are covered live.
Yeah.
For the whole 4 hour, it will be live. It will be streaming, by the way, live on YouTube, and it will be on SuperSport channel 215. So yes, it's covered live, and the 9 hour it will be live. You know.
Sure.
So we've really tried to make sure that even if Gogo or Auntie cannot be part of us, they will tune in on TV and witness this. And the reason we do that and we promote this so much, this is an opportunity to really justify why corporate must come back, why the international community must give us an opportunity to be part of the greater motorsport family that the world has. And it is our plea to corporate to say, find value in what we do and come support us so that we can bring these opportunities to our South African people.
When the doors have been shut in your face before, was there any reason that was given? Did they explain to you? Did you drive away from those presentations or meetings or gatherings understanding what it is and why it is that they shut the door in your face?
Maybe let me put it this way. If even the governing entity of motorsport, which is MSA, knows very little about us and our series, how do you expect a corporate out there to come and understand what we do?
When we can't understand each other.
We can't even understand each other. If the Department of Sport doesn't talk much about this and gets involved in promoting this part of sport, how do I walk into a big corporate and say, please participate in this, buy into this vision? It has value for our people and the people of this country. So I do not want to sit here and point fingers to say doors were shut. One need to package a sellable product. We need to formalize and make the sport appealing so that we can go fairly to people that have to listen to this. So we need to break those barriers. And the softer ones are to sit here and ask and garner support from South Africans to fill up these venues so that it is a reverse ask where corporate comes to us and says, oh, we saw you guys, you had 25,000 people in Kyalami. What can we do?
Well, that's the most important question. And what people can do right now to understand visually what it is that we're talking about, and maybe you might just have an interest in it. A lot of people are on Instagram. A lot of people are on X or Twitter. You just go to SAES, S-A-E-S, one word, .racing, SAES.racing. And just have a look at the page. And you know, sometimes people are intrigued, they're attracted by what they see visually, and then they want a little bit more.
Yep.
So have a look at that page, see if things there intrigue you, because you have to be made of sterner stuff. I can tell you guys, you have to be made of sterner stuff to be able to endure 9 hours. And it's a team effort.
Yep.
From the engineer to the driver to everybody that is part and parcel of this, mapping out the change of tires, because you can't be screeching around for 9 hours in the same set of tires.
Yeah.
You know. But for you and your experience, what's made it so exciting? What makes it such a sport that you still believe in here today, the 14th of November, 2024, and you're saying to South Africans, hey, wake up, there's something.
You know, the opportunities that motorsport brings are enormous. Imagine, let's talk of a racing team. A racing team, someone showed me a picture of the Red Bull team. The Red Bull team has just in excess of 1,000 people behind the show, behind Max Verstappen.
Yes.
You know, a racing team opens opportunities of young kids in engineering.
Yeah.
I mean, our racing team employs mechanical engineers, there's electrical engineers. We have a catering company that has to cater for us. We go to dietitians. These are things that encompass motorsport. These are the things that we say when we think of this 9-hour endurance, which is basically machine and man versus time. It is a group of people who just want to succeed. So it's not about the driver. The driver is the guy that pilots the car, but someone has to worry about strategy.
Yes.
Someone has to worry about preparation of tires. Someone has to be a good fuel engineer to make sure that all the fuel counts are there. Someone has to worry about monitoring the telemetry, to get onto my radio if I'm in the car and say, old man, you look tired. We see your lap times are dropping. Do you want us to pull you in?
Yeah.
You know? So it's a host of other people that all are participating in this.
And as you say that, you know, because people always look at the same issues. Electrical engineer, they want it in a certain way. You know, whether it's chemical engineers, whatever engineers, it's a case of we want it, but we want it in a particular way. And it never happens for them. So what you've just spoken now, and again, and I say, guys, that sport gives those opportunities. It's just a case of how do you find it? How do you reach out?
And Rob and your guest, Xolile Rob, are very excited to hear how this gentleman is passionately talking about a motorsport. And for me, Rob, I think we need to be intentional as the general public and support him wholeheartedly because for me, Rob, we can possibly create more taxpayers if we are intentional and remove some of the kids that are idling in the streets, and to be part of this exciting motorsport project that we don't see many of black people being part of. And for me, Rob, as a sports fanatic, will gladly support the initiative if we know of the dates. Thank you so much.
The dates?
29 and 30th of November. Kyalami.
So the first day, I think it's the 3 hour?
On the first day, which is the Friday, it's a 3 hour and 20 minutes. And then the next day will be the final day, which is Saturday, which will be the 9 hour.
Good evening, Mr. Rob. It's Xolile here. And good evening to the MSW shoulders. And good evening to your honored guest over there. It's quite saddening to hear the unfortunate situation that is above all things to do with motorsport, especially here in South Africa. I don't see motorsport being given that proper support here in South Africa. So can I say two-part question or one-part question to your guest there is, number one, what do you think needs to be done for the supporters, for the lovers, for the motorsports lovers to come in there and enjoy themselves, express themselves, and have an amazing time in Kyalami? That's number one. And number two, what do stakeholders need to do to support? Because at the end of the day, yes, if the stakeholders are there, I feel it would just make things a lot more easier as far as, the financial muscle and the support is concerned. So what can the supporters do, and what can the stakeholders do in order for you guys not to struggle the way that you guys are? Great show as always. Thanks.
Olufalang, thank you so much indeed. Maybe briefly to attack those questions.
Yeah, supporters must come. People must come out in their numbers to come and support us. And stakeholders, we've invited corporate South Africa. We've invited government. Yeah. I've been talking to the Deputy Minister of Sport to say we need your support so that this is a successful event.
Are they coming?
Hopefully they will come.
They haven't RSVP'd?
No, we have not had any RSVP from...
All right, so hopefully they just want to surprise you and pitch up. I hope that's the case. 2 days, Friday, Saturday, is that intentional?
Well, it is a result of the failure in really maintaining spaces and racetracks in South Africa that have good legacy. We're having a race now on Friday because that race could have happened or should have happened in East London, one of the iconic tracks, one of the few tracks that have ever hosted a Formula One. That track has gone to ruin. It is now washed away, so we cannot host around there. You must know, Rob, there's iconic tracks in this country.
Yeah.
We had Pakisa, that has gone to ruin. People forget that Valentino Rossi and MotoGP raced here, and because of our lack of understanding what motorsport can do, we've taken these facilities and they've become ruined.
Dilapidated facilities, and I think that's the cause of concern for many sporting codes in South Africa. And I'm glad, though, that the expansion is there. There's a global reach. I'm told Mozambique, I'm told Zim's going to be there, Brazil, Bulgaria, Denmark, France, Germany, Ireland, Portugal, Italy, UK, US. Hey, the world's going to be there, Baba. I wish everything of the best.
Yeah, thank you so much. We've got international race drivers joining us this weekend.
Oh, fantastic, Ben. Xolile, great work that you do. Never give up. Trust me, the platform's always here. I always say, sport, we also learn every day.
Yeah.
We also learn. We empower each other in this way. So 29th, 30th of November, be there. Kyalami, open your eyes, see what it's all about. That is the chairman of the Southern African Endurance Series, Xolile Letlaka. My guest tonight. Baba, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for giving us this platform. We really appreciate this. Thanks to Hollywood Bets and everyone that supports the initiative of sport.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We need this to the future.
Oh, man. We hope to hear more from you as well. It's a Friday tomorrow. It's a legendary show. Tune in again tomorrow for Marawa Sports Worldwide, proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
From the pitch to the podium, your all-access pass to the world of sport is right here. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets. #MSW live now on 947, Vuma FM, Rise FM and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.